Caitlin Clark just made a decision that could destroy the Indiana Fever forever, and nobody in that locker room saw it coming. They told you it was just a rumor. They told you it was nothing. Well, tonight, that nothing just turned into the biggest story women's basketball has seen in years. Stay with me for the next few minutes because what I'm about to break down could change the entire future of the WNBA, and by the end of this video you'll understand exactly why Los Angeles is circling like a shark. Panic. Pure panic. That's the only word for what's happening inside the Indiana Fever locker room tonight. Because the whole WNBA just got hit with the biggest shockwave in its history. The whispers are done. This story is now everywhere. Caitlin Clark, the face of the entire league, is reportedly ready to walk away from Indiana. And it doesn't stop there. Word is breaking that head coach Lynn Roberts and the LA Sparks have already swooped in with a massive money offer, trying to pull the superstar out of what insiders are calling a broken, toxic situation. The commissioner is furious. And honestly, once you see how badly things have fallen apart between Clark and her own coaching staff, you understand why. The system let her down. The front office lost her trust. And now Indiana might lose the biggest star the franchise has ever had. This isn't some throwaway trade rumor. This is a real battle happening behind closed doors. And tonight, we're breaking down LA's secret money move, why Indiana's front office is falling apart, and how this one decision could change women's basketball forever. Insiders close to the team say the tension goes deeper than basketball. Off the floor, I just don't think it's a good mix, one source close to the situation explained. They see the game through two completely different lenses. Fans have been calling for head coach Stephanie White to publicly back her franchise player, and according to critics, she's refused to do it at every turn, aside from one brief comment following the Alyssa Thomas incident, a comment many felt shifted blame away from where it belonged. And then there's Los Angeles. Cameron Brink, a close friend of Clark's, is already on that roster. Kate Martin, one of Clark's best friends, plays there too. And Sophie Cunningham is set to hit free agency at the end of this season. Piece by piece, the puzzle seems to be coming together right in front of us. If you really want to know why Caitlin Clark might be ready to leave Indiana behind, you need to look at how her own team has allegedly treated her for months. Fans have watched it happen over and over, hard fouls, rough plays, other players targeting Clark on the court, while her own coaching staff sat silent. No pushback to the league. No visible protection for their franchise star. Then it got worse. Reports allege the coaching staff used questionable injury designations to control her playing time, sitting a healthy player and calling it load management. To many it looked like a power move. And instead of protecting the relationship, it may have shattered it completely. Word is Clark's inner circle has had enough, and inside that locker room, trust has reportedly reached a breaking point. In a recent interview, Clark opened up about the pressure she's carried for years. "I think a lot of people sometimes think I'm a robot," she said. "I'm not a robot. I have emotions, I have feelings. I'm 24 years old trying to navigate a lot. I would never change any of it, but there are times it's hard, times it probably affects me more than I let show." She also addressed the harassment she and others around the league have faced, saying plainly that none of it, not toward her, her teammates, her coaches, or opponents, is ever okay. A generational talent isn't something you mistreat and still expect loyalty from. That's exactly what critics say the coaching staff got wrong. They thought they could manage her, restrict her, and keep her quiet. Instead, they may have blown up the franchise's entire future. That's when Lynn Roberts and the LA Sparks reportedly saw their opening, and jumped straight in. A superstar being mishandled in plain sight was all the motivation they needed. Reports suggest LA is quietly building a record-shattering offer, the kind that could reshape the league's entire pay structure. Roberts has dropped a few public hints of her own, and people noticed immediately. The message, according to insiders: Los Angeles can offer the coaching, the protection, and the stage that Indiana allegedly never did. And it's bigger than just Clark. Sources suggest other stars, including Sophie Cunningham, are now part of these conversations too, watching Indiana's situation unravel and sensing a major shift is coming. Because the Sparks, insiders claim, aren't just chasing one signing. They're positioning themselves to control where the entire league goes next, and Indiana's turmoil may be handing them the blueprint. Even inside the Fever's own film sessions, the cracks are showing. "The issue right now is the ability to push through and get out of our own way," one team insider admitted. "There's an element of toughness and effort that isn't consistent. Last night we looked disconnected, maybe because we sat out 8 days. But I don't like using excuses. We're pros. We have a job to do and we have to do it better." The same insider admitted the team has the talent to compete at a much higher level, even with key players out, but right now the execution simply isn't there. This whole backroom situation has reportedly left the commissioner blindsided and furious. A scandal like this, a franchise player possibly forced out because of coaching decisions and mismanagement, is the worst nightmare for league headquarters. Sources say the commissioner is demanding answers from Indiana's front office, wanting to know exactly how a coaching staff managed to alienate the most marketable player in the entire sport. The pressure isn't letting up. Fever management is caught in the middle. The league office is reportedly frustrated. Fans are furious and calling for changes at the top. And their franchise star, according to multiple reports, may have already checked out mentally. The locker room feels fractured. The brand is taking a hit. And the coaching staff's future in Indiana looks increasingly uncertain. Meanwhile, other players around the league have noticed the double standard. What else does a player have to do, one teammate asked, when they're averaging 24 points, 6 assists and shooting above 50% from the field as a 5 feet 8 inches guard? What else can you possibly do? The same voice pointed to what many call a rigged all-star fan vote, where one competitor reportedly jumped 400,000 votes in just 3 days, a shift many around the league found difficult to believe was organic. They just didn't want Clark to be the captain, the source claimed. I think Caitlin Clark in LA would be a beautiful thing, the insider continued. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how this plays out in Indy. I think regardless of how the season finishes, this is the last season you'll see Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark as teammates. This is it. I think the Sparks are already planting the seeds to bring Clark to Los Angeles. Time is running out, and what happens next could completely reshape the WNBA as we know it. If the Indiana Fever can't repair this relationship in the next few days, that massive LA offer could become very real, and there may be nothing Indiana can do to stop it. The Caitlin Clark era in Indiana appears to be cracking, weighed down by ego, broken promises, and leadership decisions that many feel failed her. So the question everyone's asking now is simple. Will the front office get desperate enough to overhaul the coaching staff and beg her to stay before it's too late? Because right now, everything points to Los Angeles being ready to roll out the red carpet. Reports from inside the organization suggest the Sparks are telling anyone who'll listen that they're ready to build something special, that they see a real opportunity sitting right in front of them. And here's where things get even more interesting. The Sparks recently made a move a lot of people believe is more than just a coincidence. They signed Kate Martin to a full standard contract. No more developmental deal. No more waiting in the wings. She's officially locked into the main roster. So naturally, people are asking the obvious question. Is this a small piece being placed on the board for something much bigger down the line? Is Los Angeles quietly laying the groundwork so that if Caitlin Clark ever does leave Indiana, everything is already in place for her to land there? Because timing like this doesn't usually happen by accident in professional sports. Even people close to the situation admit the buzz is growing by the day. Conversations that used to be quiet rumors are turning into serious discussions, and analysts are calling this signing a smart, calculated move by the Sparks, regardless of how the bigger story plays out. So now the real question is this. Has Los Angeles already won this battle before it's even officially started? Is it already too late for Indiana to hold on to the biggest star the league has ever produced? Because right now, all the signs point in one direction, and it isn't looking good for the Fever. The drama has hit a boiling point, and the entire basketball world is watching closely to see what happens next. Every single day brings a new update, a new leak, a new twist nobody saw coming. This story is moving fast, and if you blink, you might miss the next major development. Look, if this story moved you even a little, if you care about where Caitlin Clark ends up, if you care about seeing the truth behind the headlines instead of just the noise, then don't walk away from this channel now. We are here every single day digging through the leaks, the interviews, and the whispers nobody else is covering just so you don't have to. This community we're building together, right here on WNBA Analysis, only grows because people like you decide to stay. So if you felt something watching this, if you're as invested in this story as we are, hit that subscribe button right now, turn on your notifications, and become part of this journey with us. Because the next update could come at any moment, and I don't want you to be the last person to find out how this story ends. We'll be here when it breaks. Will you?